Drodzy Państwo, na scenę wchodzi Szymon Zajíček, szef praskiego think tanku CEVRO, konserwatywno-liberalnego, związanego z partią obecnie rządzącą. Think tank jest starszy od naszego, został założony w 1995 roku przez legendę czechosłowackiej jeszcze wtedy opozycji Aleksandra Vondrę, dzisiejszego europosła, który zresztą jest w Parlamencie Europejskim, reprezentuje grupę EKR, czyli tę samą co posłowie Prawa i Sprawiedliwości. Proszę. Prosím tě. Yes. Wystąpienie będzie w języku angielskim, ale jeśli będziecie chcieli, to nasz gość może mówić po czesku.
Dobrý den, přátelé. Mohl bych to zkusit česky a věřím, že byste mi rozuměli, ale it will be better if I switch to English, I think. First of all, I prepared little notes in English, and it will be better for me to read them and then also say them in the same language. But I think our languages are very similar, but not close enough to comprehend all the little details of what I'm about to say or try to, say about some meaningful words. I don't pretend to be in a position to lecture or criticize or talk about serious things. I'm not, I would say, old enough or experienced enough yet to have a politician's speech. Although I'm from a political family, both my parents are involved in the political life. My dad for about 35 years, my mother for the past 5. So they are idols of mine, and maybe I'm one day going to be doing something as meaningful as they are doing right now. When I was approached by Dorota Zelenska and Mark Wrobel through the communication between Fundacja Republikańska and CEVRO, it was a blessing that I realized very soon that I have to take advantage of. For the past 3 years, I was directing, or I'm still directing, the CEVRO think tank, which is part of what we call a fortress Jungmanka in the downtown Prague area, where we have a university, CEVRO Institute, and also a little think tank, CEVRO. I felt like there is something I should bring to the table, and I realized how little we actually reach out to our northern brothers, our Poles, the friends that we share so much with. And at the point where I was thinking about it the most, that's when I got an email from Dorota Zelenska if CEVRO would like to participate on a project with Fundacja Republikańska. So I would like to thank Mark and thank Dorota for reaching out to me, reaching out to CEVRO, and starting something that hopefully will bring some fruits in the future. And I think we have a great stepping stone already set as we participated on creating a little publication, and also had a conference in Prague, a little academy in Prague, where Mark and his wife Alexandra came, and also now we have one here in Warsaw, where I'm speaking to students from Poland. So hopefully we'll have a great time participating together. I'm so glad that this opportunity was given to me, even to speak here before you, and I hope that we'll have a little, maybe big mark on our societies, and we'll move them towards the direction that we feel like we should be heading to. When I was thinking what I can say meaningful here. Not many things came up because again my experience is still of lesser value to any of you here, great politicians and thinkers from Polish way of life, and I only will try to maybe summarize how I feel about the situation that the world is today, with the Russian aggression to Ukraine, with American politics, which I'm quite familiar with as I studied both high school and university in the United States, and have a great experience with the American way of life, but I also look at it through a prism of a Czech person looking at how American society is drifting apart, and I think they know it as well. I was reminded prior to my research, I was reminded of a moment in history that I think one day will be looked at with great reverence and maybe even historical importance. There's been a lot of speeches in the past, Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, Churchill's "We shall fight on the beaches," Martin Luther King's "I have a dream," one of my favorite Ronald Reagan's speeches, "Tear down this wall." I think historically important, not a speech, but a move, was when 4 brave politicians on March 15th came from Poland, Czech Republic, and Slovenia, went to Kiev to support the Ukrainian regime in their attempt to defend from an aggressive Russian aggression. I would like to thank them for doing that, because I think historically it will actually really be a moment to remember, and it gave me an idea of what actually Central Europe can provide for the Western way of life, for Western democracies, and for our future. When I was thinking about how I see the Western way of life, or what we call the West, I think of it as a swimming pool. A swimming pool where every participant, every swimmer understands the rules of the game, the rules of the flow. You know, you can swim as you know, this way, that way. You can dive, you can hop, you can do all that you please, as long as you allow others to do the same, and as long as you don't harm anybody during the process. The rules of this swimming pool are quite simple. They're based on 3 basic principles: rule of law, free market capitalism, and individual liberties. Rule of law is based on the inalienable right that every citizen of a country is seen as equal in the eyes of the state. Free market capitalism allows us to reach our potential that we all inherently have and create something meaningful for society, and at best, something meaningful that others are willing to pay for it. That's a great concept that is still fairly new, but I think lately has been attacked and maybe demonized, and especially west from our two nations, from Czech Republic and from Poland. It's becoming a dirty word to say that you think capitalism is actually something we should defend. And third, individual liberties. Some say we have 5 basic ones, 6 basic ones, 4. I think we all kind of know our basic liberties. Freedom to speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, freedom of press, freedom of movement. I think one of the most important ones, freedom of thought, the right to live, the right to be who we actually want to be. So those 3 pillars of Western democracy or Western way of life are what we should defend. And when Francis Fukuyama in 1992 wrote The End of History, he believed that those 3 principles are going to be universal. And we still probably think they should be. We want everybody on our planet to enjoy the freedoms that we are enjoying. We want them to be free from oppression, we want them to be free from fear, and we want them to be able to live the way that they think is beneficial for their life, as long as, again, they're not harming others in the process. In Francis Fukuyama's book, I think it's a fascinating book, and I had a chance to speak to him about it as well. It feels like he talks about this concept, the swimming pool analogy that I have, as set in stone, unbreakable, undrainable, something that is just sure to live forever. But I think lately we've seen that our swimming pool is not set in stone, is not undrainable, is not unbreakable. We ourselves started to create waves that spill over, make holes in the sides. And we see both sides, on the right and on the left, radicalizing and attacking the values that we should cherish the most. Our constitutions give us guidance, but they do not protect us from ourselves as much as we would like to think. There are ways we can backfire at each other. And I think Francis Fukuyama, in his book, he maybe neglected this part of human nature, that when things are going well, we start to find ways how to break the spirit and how to maybe go just a different way. And allowing that to happen is part of the freedoms that we enjoy, but we need to make sure that we defend our swimming pool. We need to defend our societies, and we need to defend the Western way of life, which we fought for so long. Not myself, but many of you have experienced the regimes that were before the one we have today. Now it leads me back to the moment when Petr Fiala, Mateusz Morawiecki, Janez Janša, and Jaroslav Kaczynski decided to visit Kiev on March 15th of this year. That's where I realized that Central Europe is now unexpectedly the protector of the Western values, because we feel that it's completely understandable and responsible to support those that want to participate in free societies. It was a moment that we should be all proud of, that we were able to participate in, because we all have our political parties, we all have our institutions that we support, and there we saw that France, Germany, Great Britain, the United States were not as strong about supporting Ukraine as our countries were. It's a moment I am proud of, and I would like to thank them for giving me this opportunity to be proud of our nations again. And it's unlikely that France and Germany and our Western partners see it that way. We have to tell them. We have to start believing that what we have is the Western values that we should protect. We have to look at the world as a continuum, as a process that we need to participate in strongly. We have to be vocal, we have to cooperate. And that's where I think both Fundacja Republikańska and Severo have something to say about it. That's why I think our partnership should be not of small value, but of large value. We should meet, we should connect our nations, we should speak together, and we should speak as one on the European forum, on the Western forum, on the world forum. We have something to defend. We fought long and hard for freedoms that we are now enjoying. And we have to stop some of the countries that we would like to call our older brothers in the democracy sphere from ripping our swimming pool apart. You can see every day in the United States, in UK, in France, in Germany, things that are happening there are not healthy. Our societies are still defending well against both the radical left and the radical right. It is us that are responsible right now to defend what we gained when the Soviet Union fell, during the Velvet Revolution in Czech Republic, or during uprisings in Poland and in other countries in the central and eastern part of Europe. I hope that we feel the responsibility, because we have it. We need to defend Western values, even from our Western friends and from our supposedly more experienced democracies. It is now in our hands. I would like to thank Poland for standing strong, and for Polish people that are not willing to jeopardize their future just because somebody in Brussels or Strasbourg says so. I know Fundacja Republikańska is a strong partner for the center-right position here in Poland, which is very strong. Several tries to be the same in Prague, in Czech Republic. And I hope that our union and our cooperation can lead to better outcomes and can protect what we gained 30 plus years ago. That is a vision that hopefully we share, and I would like to participate in it as actively as I can. Maybe it will lead to good outcomes, but as Václav Havel once said, we should do things not only because they have a chance to succeed, but because they're right. And I believe that defending our democracies and defending our way of life is important and is right. That's all for me. Thank you for allowing me to present some of my thoughts. And thank you again, Mark Wrobel and Dorota Zielinska, for allowing me to participate at your Congress, coming to Warsaw, and enjoying a great time with great people that I share so much with. Thank you very much.
Děkuji moc. Thank you, Šimon. You remind us how to merge the values with the interest. Sometimes we talk a lot about the values, but also we speak a lot, we discuss a lot about the interest. And sometimes we miss the crucial thing. It should be the same. It should be the one thing. Thank you.